welcome to the Ozarks Amateur Radio Society 2-meter net. This is W0ZAC, Whiskey 0, Zulu Alpha Charlie, net control for tonight's net. My name is Zach, Zulu Alpha Charlie Hotel, and I'm located in Mount Vernon. This net meets every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. local time on the W0OAR repeater at a frequency of 146.97 with a negative offset and PL tone of 162.2. This net is also available on NetLogger for all who wish to check in early. This is an informal directed net, but it can be interrupted at any time if there is emergency traffic. If there is any emergency or priority traffic, please call now. Okay, nothing heard. We'll now make a few announcements of interest to amateur radio. The Ozarks Amateur Radio Society meets on the second Saturday of the month at the Happy House Restaurant in Monette. The meeting begins at 7 p.m., but you're welcome to come at 6 p.m. to eat and enjoy some good conversation before the meeting begins. Individuals pay for their own meal, but of course you don't have to eat to attend the meeting. All are welcome, including family members and those interested in amateur radio. A schedule for the New Year's Eve net has been created and is as follows. We'll kick things off at 9:30 p.m. with myself, W0ZAC, right here on the 146.97 repeater. At 10 p.m., we'll move over to Wes, AE0OC, on the 444.150 D-Star repeater. Then at 10:20 p.m., Sean, KE0MAD, and Marvin, N0MLP, will operate a simplex net on 146.52. At 11 p.m., we'll move over to the 146.64 machine with net control operator to be determined. And finally, we'll round out the evening with Steve, KA0SPM, on the 146.91 repeater at approximately 11:30 to midnight. All these nets will be streamed live on the 5.9 YouTube channel and the Smart Facebook page. You can also follow along with each net on NetLogger. This net is also being streamed live on the 5.9 Radio YouTube channel, so if you want to see how you hear on the air, or if you missed part of the net, you can go to 59radio.com for details and a link to the channel. Are there any other announcements of interest to amateur radio? Okay, nothing heard. I'll now begin taking check-ins. We will start with the NetLogger check-ins, of which there are 6 already. So we'll start at the top of the NetLogger list with AE0OC. Wes, how are you this evening?
Well, hello, Zach, and everyone on the net. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. I'm very happy that I am back on the air again. That's a great thing. I'm kind of a temporary situation with a mag mount on my roof, but at least I'm on the air and able to get on the radio tonight. So one thing I was going to say about the New Year's Eve net, all the times there are approximate. If somebody runs long, we'll just start the next net a little later, and then somebody runs short, we may start a little earlier. So keep NetLogger up so you know who's up and where we're at. And I hope that everybody checks into everybody's net that they possibly can. That's all I really got to say. Oh, I did get my tower down today and ready to start making some repairs to it. So, but that's it for this time. So I will catch you all on the 31st. AE0OC, back to you, Zach.
Wes. Thanks for checking in. And yeah, that's good info on the New Year's Eve nets. That's gonna be kind of a wing it thing as we move along and see how the time frame works out. So I'll be tuning into as many of those as I can. Thanks again, Wes. We'll say 7-3 and jump down to N0MLP. Marvin, how are you this evening?
Well, Zach, doing pretty good. I've been kind of sick off and on, but I think I'm finally starting to come out of it. Had a doctor's appointment today and pretty good discussion with him, so I think we're on the right path. But glad to hear everybody out there and appreciate you doing the net. And, Wes, yeah, it's good to hear you on the air, man. But hopefully get your tower there figured out and be back up and going for real. But yeah, I'm kind of excited about this New Year's net thing. I think it's going to be kind of fun and spend a good amount of time on the radio and welcome in the New Year. So, but other than that, I don't have much. Just saying hi to everybody and appreciate you running the net. And we'll send it back to Net Control, W0ZAC. This is N0MLP.
Alrighty, thanks for checking in tonight, Marvin. Look forward to hearing you on the 31st. We'll say 7-3 to you and jump down to our next net logger check-in. K0SQS. Harold, how are you this evening?
W0ZAC and the rest of the net, K0SQS. Doing just fine, like everybody else. Looking forward to Saturday night, the 31st. Talked to Bob a little earlier. I see he hasn't checked in on NetLogger. I don't know whether he'll check in via direct towards the end of the net. Anyway, he's been under the weather for the last week. Said he lost 10 pounds, but Sean and I said if he lost 10 pounds, he'd just disappear. So anyway, I think he's doing a little bit better. If any of you talk with him, you might wish him well. So anyway, with that, getting ready for the New Year's. So back to you. K0SQS.
Alrighty, Harold, thanks for checking in tonight, and thanks for the update on Bob. Yeah, I didn't think he had 10 pounds to lose. Best wishes to him. Hope he can get on the radio tonight. We'd like to hear him. Thanks again for checking in, Harold. We'll say 7-3 and jump down to our next net logger check-in, KE6GAE. David, how are you this evening?
Oh, we're doing pretty good, Zach. Thanks for running the net. I just want to make sure I'm getting into the repeater because I got real bad ears on my end.
Yeah, you're getting in just fine. It's a little scratchy signal, but totally readable. Sounds good.
All right, Zach. Well, once again, thanks for running the net. And don't have a whole lot. Got lucky with all the cold. I didn't have to deal with any frozen pipes like everybody else did. The only thing I got going on is working on this computer to try to help you guys get your D-Star repeater on the internet. Other than that, don't have a whole lot, so I'll pass it back to Net Control. Zach, KE6GAE, back to Net Control.
Alrighty, well, thanks for checking in this evening, and we sure appreciate the help you're lending us with the D-Star machine. We'll say 7-3. Excuse me, we'll say 7-3 for now, and look forward to speaking with you again. We'll jump down to our next net logger check-in, November 0, Kilo Tango Mike. How are you this evening, Kevin?
Well, good evening, Zach, and everybody on the net tonight. I am doing well. Starting to get thawed out here. Had one little hiccup with the cold weather. My ice maker line for my fridge froze up, but that's because it goes up through an outside, or through a wall that has a house on one side and outside on the outside. If that makes any sense. And I also had one other catastrophe. I think I lost my air compressor and the whole deal. it froze up and tried to start, and I think it burnt the motor up, so that's going to be kind of a bummer. Other than that, I'm continuing my saga of trying to get my linear amplifier on HF side all ready, and so, well, it runs now, but I'm going to recap the power supply, so I've got all the parts ordered for that. So once again, I'm at the mercy of the USPS and whoever else is doing the deliveries to see where they get stuff here in a reasonable amount of time. So waiting on that, and a reminder that the Smart 10-meter net does happen on Friday night at 7 o'clock on 28410, and then also our TGIF net is on 8 o'clock on the 9-1 repeater. So anybody wants to check into those, I am the net control this week, so I will be taking your check-ins. Other than that, this is N0 KTM. Back to you, Zach.
Very good. Thanks for checking in tonight, Kevin. Sorry to hear you're having problems with the water. That is a bummer. One of my employees had a line break that first cold snap, and had 2 more spots become a problem over the weekend. So he's going to be spending some time under his house this week fixing things now that it's warmed up a bit. No fun, but that's winter in Missouri, I suppose. Kevin, thanks for checking in tonight. Good to hear from you. We'll say 7-3 and jump down to Kilo Echo 0, Mike Alpha Delta. Sean, how are you this evening?
Oh, doing pretty good, Zach. Hello, everybody on the net. And, well, I look forward to the New Year's Eve kind of, I don't know, what do you want to call that, a relay net. Going to be relaying it off from station to station, but I do look forward to that. Yeah, I hope everybody can stay up late enough to check in. I know Bob, he's gonna wuss out. He'll call it quits at 9 p.m. But hopefully we can hear as many people as we can on there. But anyway, I'm glad to see it's warming up, and the week's looking good. Next week's looking a little wet. Other than that, nothing on this end. Thank you, Zach, for doing the net. W0ZAC, K0MAD. Catch you later.
Thanks for checking in tonight, Sean. Good to hear from you. I did have a question for you regarding that simplex portion of the net. I assume you'll be running that off your beam and would start in one direction and work your way around. Did you have a plan for that?
Yeah, so I'm going to start south and work my way around east, back, east, north, back to the west, and then back south again. So we'll start south and go counterclockwise around.
Very good. Sounds like a plan. I'll be listening in for that one as well. Sean, thanks for checking in tonight. Good to hear from you. We'll say 7-3 to you, and that brings us down to the bottom of the net logger list. So we will now start taking over-the-air check-ins. When you check in, please space your calls, give your call sign phonetically, and then the regular way, along with your name and location. Check-ins will be acknowledged, and then comments or announcements will be invited from each station. We'll begin with short time, low power, or mobile stations. Please call now, W0ZAC.
Kilo Echo 0, Oscar Mike Juliet, KE0, OMJ, Roger, and Ozark, short time, no traffic.
Kilo 5, Alpha November Whiskey, K5, ANW, Daryl in Springdale. I'm just in for the count tonight, Zach. Thank you for taking the net.
Alrighty, we picked up 2 there. We'll start at the top with KE0OMJ. Roger, short time this evening. How are you?
Oh, doing good. Just watching some TV with my granddaughter, but Remembered the net, so I thought I'd jump in real quick and see how things are going.
Alrighty, well, we appreciate you checking in for the numbers here. Good to hear from you, Roger. You're welcome to stop by anytime. We'll say 7-3 to Roger and jump down to our next check-in, K5ANW. Daryl, how are you doing this evening?
Had a good day. Back my truck. It was nice to lay back and a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Now, it's pretty kind of dropped and changing down. And try to get in Tuesday. K5AM 730.
Alrighty, Daryl, thanks for checking in tonight. We lost signal on you a couple of times there, and I didn't catch all of that, but it sounds like you're doing all right. Good to hear from you again this week, and look forward to catching you next week. Hopefully you can get in on this New Year's Eve net we've got going next weekend. We'll say 7-3 to Daryl, and thanks again for being here. That brings us to the bottom of the list, and we'll ask again, are there any check-ins for the OARS net?
KF60Z, Mel in Mount Vernon.
Kilo Echo 0, November Hotel Lima, KE0 NHL, Heather and Clever.
All right, we'll hold it right there. The last check-in was Kathy, and forgive me, I forget the prefix on your call sign. Could you give me that one more time?
KF0HHH.
Got it. Very good. Thank you. We'll jump back to the top of that list with Mel, KF60Z. Mel, how are you this evening?
All is going well here. Just glad to see the weather warming up a little bit. I started working today to try to prep the workstation that's going to be the host for the digital repeater over there in Freistadt, so I hope everything goes smooth with that. Other than that, nothing, just looking for the new year. KF60Z.
Alrighty, thanks for checking in tonight. Appreciate you being there, Mel. Yeah, I'm also looking forward to this warm-up coming. I've had enough of that cold stuff for now. At least for this early in the winter. Maybe I could handle some more later. I did get on board with the D-Star radio recently. I picked up an ICOM ID 5100, so I guess I joined the club, so to speak. Mel, thanks for checking in tonight. Good to hear from you. We'll say 7-3 and jump down to Kilo Echo 0 NHL. Heather, how are you tonight?
I'm doing all right. Finally got water since I had the cap bust off of my hot water line over the weekend and was able to get a cap on it yesterday. So I've had water at least since yesterday, and everything's going good and staying in place for right now. So other than that, had a pretty good Christmas. I actually spent it with a friend and her family, so it was pretty neat all the way around. Glad we're warming up this week and getting out of the deep freeze. Be able to actually get warm and stay warm. KE0 NHL. Back to net control.
Alrighty, Heather, good to hear from you tonight. Glad you got your water back on. That's one of those things we tend to not think twice about until we don't have it, and it sure is an inconvenience. Heather, thanks again for checking in. We'll say 7-3, and we'll jump down to KF0HHH. Kathy, how are you this evening? Well, thanks for checking in tonight, Kathy. Sounds like you're mobile. Pretty scratchy signal. You must be out in the hills somewhere.
I'm actually sitting right outside my house down in the holler.
Well, that does explain it. Hopefully you can check in with us this weekend on the New Year's net. Having a hard time hearing you on that one, Kathy. We'll say 7-3, and thanks for checking in tonight. And that brings us down to the bottom of the list once again. So we'll ask again if there are any more check-ins for the OARSnet. When you check in, please give your call sign phonetically and in the regular way, along with your name and location. Any check-ins for the OARSnet, please call now, W0ZAC.
Kilo Bravo 0 Bravo Oscar Papa KB0 BOP Gary in Verona.
Kilo Echo 0 Yankee Mike Z KE0YMZ David Springfield.
Kilo Bravo 0 Romeo Hotel Alpha KB0 RHA Rich Mount Vernon.
Kilo 0 Romeo Whiskey Delta K0 RWD Ron in Cassville.
Alrighty, we'll hold it right there and jump to the top of the list with KB0BOP. Gary, how are you this evening?
Oh, I'm doing okay. I finally got my valve phone program with the tone offset all right, so I think it's hearing me okay.
Yeah, you're making it in just fine. Little noise on the signal, but you're readable.
Okay, thanks for that. Nothing to report. I'm just in for the count. KB0BOP, back to the net.
Alrighty, Gary. Well, good to hear from you tonight. Hope we can catch you again on the net next week and this coming weekend on the New Year's net. We'll say 7-3, and thanks for the check-in. And we'll jump down to KE0YMZ. David, how are you this evening?
Good evening, Zach and everyone on the net. Doing well this evening here in Springfield, and just turned the radio on and decided I would monitor the net and see how my equipment was doing. It looks like I'm making it into the net okay, so that's great. You never know with all these this cold and everything. I went out and got in my car today, and it just really did not want to participate. But it had been cold. It had set for a while. So anyway, thanks for letting me in on the net, and nothing more from here. Again, thank you. KE0YMZ.
Alrighty, David, good to hear from you, as always. Glad to hear the car started. I had some of that trouble myself, that first real cold morning. My old pickup, she was cranking awfully slow, but it came out of it, and we're running strong. Good to hear from you, David. We'll say 7-3. Thanks for being here, and we'll jump down to our next check-in, KB0RHA. Rich, how are you this evening?
We're doing pretty good out here. We survived the cold, had plenty of firewood, got the old heater still running there, so we're doing pretty good so far. Nothing more for the net. 7-3 everybody, keep warm. KB0RHA.
Well, thanks, Rich, for checking in tonight. Good to hear from you as well. Glad you're staying warm over there. We'll say 7-3 to you and jump down to K0RWD. Ron, how are you this evening?
K0RWD. Well, just if this wind would quit and everything else, I had a friend of mine that burned a big, pretty good sized of a wheel in there, and he kind of got that done. But other than that, it's just I'm ready for spring, so I'll just turn it right back to net control, and you're doing a good job. K0RWD.
Alrighty, Ron, thanks for checking in tonight. As always, good to hear from you. We'll say 7-3 to you and jump down to one more net logger check-in. If you're still there, Peter, KI5ZBM. Peter, how are you this evening? How about at KI5ZBM? I see you're offline on NetLogger, but are you still monitoring? All right, nothing heard. We'll assume he has slipped away. Peter, if you're still out there, feel free to check in over the air here. We'll ask again if there are any more check-ins for the OARS net. Please give your call sign phonetically than the regular way, along with your name and location. Any check-ins for the OARS net, please call now, W0ZAC.
Kilo Alpha 0 Romeo Mike, KA0RM Bob Aurora.
Alrighty, picked up one more, KA0RM. Bob, how you doing?
Live, put it that way. Been a rough day. I ain't been out the house since last Thursday, so it's been kind of rough. But I'm feeling better today, hopefully anyway. We'll have to see what happens. I ain't going to Springfield tomorrow, I think. Supposed to warm up a little bit, so yeah. Been sleeping a lot, put it that way. But Christmas is a bummer. I was here all by myself, so I'm not the only one. Old David, he said he kind of had the same thing over there. His wife's sick too again, so a lot of people have been that way. That's about it here, Zach. We got the sideband net here at 8 o'clock. I don't know if you probably already mentioned that, but in case you haven't, you might mention that. KA0RM 73.
Alrighty, Bob, thanks for checking in, and thanks for the sideband reminder. Glad to hear you're doing better. Didn't know you were down. Doesn't surprise me, though. There's been just so much illness going around. It's late fall and early winter. My little guy was sick again last week, just for a day, and then he was good. And same thing today. Spiked a fever this morning, came out of it this afternoon. He's running around like his normal self right now. Anywho, thanks for checking in, Bob. Glad you're feeling better. We'll talk at you soon. KA0RM will say 7-3 to you, and we're back at the bottom of the list. If there are any more check-ins for the OARS net, please call now, W0ZAC.
A0OC, recheck.
AE0OC, go ahead, Wes.
I was just going to tell you that KI5ZBM is on the live stream and said he tried but just didn't have enough power to get in. So He wanted to say hello to everybody, I believe.
Alrighty, well thanks for doing that, Wes. A little relay there via the YouTube live stream. Any more check-ins for the OARSnet W0ZAC? Alrighty, last call. Check-ins for the OARSnet. Any check-ins for the OARS 2-meter net? Please call now, W0ZAC. Okay, I think we'll call that a wrap for the night. Tonight we had a total of 17 check-ins, including myself. Thank you to all stations who checked in this evening. We look forward to hearing from you again next Tuesday at 7 p.m. right here on this repeater. I will now close the net and return this repeater to regular amateur radio use. 73, Whiskey 0, Zulu Alpha Charlie. Clear.
A0C, K0MAD.
Yeah, go ahead, Sean.
So we plan on running net logger that night?
Absolutely. Do you need a brush up on how to create a net or anything?
Yes, sir.
No problem. I'll get with you later in the week and we can walk through all of that. It's really simple.
All right. Roger. Sounds good. I figure this way here, if we do get people checking in, I'll be able to look call signs up to get headings. It'll make things easier. The only problem is we won't be able to go to them in order. They'll have to be in directional order.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. But still, it'll work out pretty good for you, though, I think. So, all right. Well, hopefully I'll be able to hear at least you the whole time, no matter what direction you're pointing. I'm close enough. I should be able to pick you up on the live stream, but I know that there'll be a lot of them that I can't hear that you can.
Speaking of that, did I think I seen on one of the chats or something, you got your tower down today?
Roger. It's down. I got the coax off of it. I'm going to have to replace some ends on it and try to put it all back together and do a lot more testing before it goes up this time. The time before it was getting dark on us and we didn't have time to test stuff. We slapped it all together and put it up in the air, but this time I'll have a couple of days to do some testing because it's going to be too windy to put it back up for the next 2 days. So it's going to be warm, and then hopefully Friday it'll go in the air. So that would be just perfect timing to get it up and ready for the New Year's Eve net.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know Daryl, as long as if Daryl's around that time, and I know Daryl, I've talked to him simplex, so I know Daryl will be able to get in, but that's if he's up that time of night, and there's quite a few others down there that I've talked to, so we might get a few Arkansas ones.
Well, that'd be totally awesome if we can. So, but like I said, I probably won't be able to hear them to get them on the live stream, but at least we'll hear you talking to them, and there'll be some of them, that I might get into if I get especially if I get the tower up, that'll make all the difference in the world. Having that tip of the antenna up to 88 feet will help a bunch.
Yeah, if you can get that going, that's going to make a big difference for you. All right, I'll let you go, Wes. I'm going to go in the living room for just a little bit, and then I'm going to get on the sideband net here in about 20 minutes or so. K0M80?
All right. I'll catch up with you later, Sean. And Zach, if you're still listening, great net tonight. AE0OC.